Today on the channel is return to the Kyle Peterson Top 5, and we go to one of my all-time favorite comic book characters. It's time for the Top 5 Juggernaut figures of all time.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another edition of the Kyle Peterson Top 5, a Thursday tradition each and every Thursday here on this channel. And today we're back to a Top 5, but this time headed over to the Marvel Universe. Now we do all kinds of things in these Top 5s, but it's been a while since we've done some Marvel Top 5s. And today, one of my all-time favorite villains from the Marvel Universe, and a guy that's had a lot of great action figures and some stinkers along the way, but it is the man, the myth, the legend. It is the Juggernaut, and as usual, we're going to do this top 5 like we do all the other top 5s on the channel. Start at number 5, work our way to number 1. Number 1 being my absolute favorite Juggernaut figure of all time. As I always have to say, this is my list. Put your list in the comments down below. So without further ado, let's kick it off. Number 5. We begin the countdown at number 5, and number 5 is purely nostalgic based because this isn't the greatest figure ever, but when you're a little kid, you're collecting action figures and you're learning about characters. That is extremely special, and a lot of hours playing with this figure when I was a kid. This was my introduction to Juggernaut, later seeing him in the comics, and then of course the X-Men animated series in the 90s. What Juggernaut are we talking about at number 5? Well, we're going to the old school Toy Biz days for the original roller skates Juggernaut. You could call him that maybe. He's got the roller skates, but you put his head down and he just rams right into things like a young Ram Man, but just about a decade after Ram Man. But I always love this figure. You got the playability action here. He was a bruiser, especially in the first couple of series of the X-Men Toy Biz figures. We later got some better ones, and we've seen constant learning, constant improvement throughout the years with Juggernaut figures. But this, I believe, was the first ever Juggernaut figure. I don't know what would have been before it, but man, it was a fun one to have as a little kid. The Toy Biz comes in number 5. We continue the countdown at number 4, and number 4 comes to us from Marvel Legends. This, I believe, started as a Walmart exclusive, but maybe went everywhere else later on. But this was actually the action figure where I said, you know what, I think I should be a completionist in this line. I was pretty close to it at the time, but this one sealed the deal for me for whatever reason. When I was at the Mattel Creations Revealed event, I talked about the Ultimate Warrior figure that made me say I was going to be an elite completionist. This is the yin and yang over the Marvel Legends side from Hasbro, but this was a 2-pack with Colossus once upon a time. It is the Juggernaut. Now, I do display this one to make it different from the Build-A-Figure, which is basically the same figure as this. I use the human head without the helmet, I guess with the helmet, but the removable helmet here. I use this as my battle damage Juggernaut. Gotta make him as different as possible. You guys know the way that goes. But this one is a very nice specimen, especially for the time. And at the time, a lot of people were paying crazy amount of money for this one because the Juggernaut and Colossus was so cool. 2 bruisers on both sides of the fence. It was definitely worth its weight in gold, you could say. But this one, a very fun one coming in. Number 4. We've hit the halfway point to the countdown. You got your list together. Put it in the comments down below. But here we are at number 3. And number 3 is a bruiser of a figure. This could be a weapon if you needed it to be. It is from, unfortunately, a defunct toy line at this point here in 2026. But we had a lot of figures we've unboxed on the channel over the years from this. I dabbled in this line over the years, but this is one of the heavy hitters from that line. We're talking Diamond Select Marvel. We're going to the heavy, beefy Juggernaut. And the fun thing about the big deluxe figures from Marvel Select, the Colossuses, the Abominations, the Hulkbusters, the Juggernauts of the world, you can use these with your Marvel Legends because we've seen Juggernaut to be all different shapes and sizes, and we see that in action figure form as well. So this is a great stand-in with your Hasbro figures if you want it to be. That's what I've done over the years, but I always like this one. I mean, it's over a decade old, I think, at this point, maybe even longer, but this one still holds up. It is a heavy, heavy bruiser like a lot of the big Marvel Selects. Great detail on this one. You see this, you immediately know it is Juggernaut, and this one comes in number 3. Countdown carries on to the number 2 spot here in the countdown. We're zipping through it here, and once again, nostalgia really wins on some of these countdowns. I view them on nostalgia, obviously, and also, you know, how good the figure is. How does it play? How does it look? Does it look like the Juggernaut? There's a lot of things that go into these top 5 lists. It's not necessarily going to be which one is the greatest looking figure, because most of the time you're going to get more recency bias on that kind of stuff, which is totally great, totally understandable. But sometimes you have to go back to when you were a kid in this case, as this was an absolute game changer in my childhood fig fed. We talked about Toy Biz earlier with the first edition of Juggernaut. How about we dive into the second version of Juggernaut? In this era of Toy Biz, it felt like they really fast forward in the greater figures. The figures got a heck of a lot better, including this Juggernaut. When this came out, I was so excited for this. You had the removable helmet, which was really, really awesome. But just the looks of him and the feel of him, he did have the light up action with the weapon. That didn't do a whole lot for me. But there was a lot of great figures around this time as they kind of moved to the next level with Toy Biz. And this Juggernaut was a huge part of that one. A big, big bruiser, once again, compared to the rest of the figures in the line. Really enjoyed this one. And it still holds up for me. And I would look at this, I just remember being so excited because, once again, you go back to the days before the internet, you were just surprised to see stuff. And I'll never forget seeing this wave, including the Juggernaut, and just being like, wow, this is a huge leap from the figures we have had before. So a classic nostalgic favorite here on the Juggernaut, coming in at number 2, which means there can only be one. What is my absolute favorite Juggernaut figure of all time? Well, stay tuned. We've reached the end of the countdown. The Juggernaut top 5 comes to a close. You got your list together, put it in the comments down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel and my other YouTube channel while you're at it. Every Thursday, we're doing top 5 and occasionally top 10 countdowns. And if you got a recommendation of something you want to see, let me know in the comments down below. But here we are at number 1. What is the number 1 Juggernaut figure of all time? Well, I talk about these lists a lot, and recency bias can definitely be a thing. I totally get that. The nice, shiny new toy usually will jump ahead, but once it marinates a little bit, it may ebb and flow. But as of right now, I feel confident enough to say this is the best Juggernaut figure of all time. You never know what might happen in the future, but as far as I sit right now, the latest and greatest from 2025, the Gamerverse Juggernaut, is my absolute favorite Juggernaut. Now, very similar to that big Marvel Select in size, not necessarily weight, even though this is fairly heavy. This is a great figure. This is a bruiser of a figure, and I like the mobility on this one a lot more than the Marvel Select. The color scheme depends what you like. This is the Gamerverse one, but this definitely can work for your X-Men shelf, whatever. It doesn't have to be stuck to the Gamerverse world. I did do a full-on review of this. Check out the video if you want to. But just a fun figure here, a big bruiser. This is how I imagine him, at least in the Hasbro scale with everything else. Just an absolutely great figure. Very happy to have this in my collection. And the Gamerverse wave, a big surprise to the fan base, myself included last year, of how great a lot of these figures were. And I'd say the Juggernaut was one of the best ones, if not the best one, of that Gamerverse wave last year. So we'll see what happens in the future with Juggernaut, but easily right now for me, Gamerverse takes the top spot. But I'm gonna ask you again, what takes the top spot for you? Is it this Juggernaut or something else? Let me know in the comments down below. You made it this far, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I should say channels. Got 2 YouTube channels with content every single day for you. Check it out. Of course, Patreon YouTube channel membership's your best way to support the channel. Plenty to keep you busy over there. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and The Kyle Peterson Show at gmail.com, which is the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available every single Tuesday wherever podcasts are found, with videocast on YouTube. And check out both my books, The Complete Guide to the Jakks Class Superstar Series and The Complete Guide to the ECW Original San Francisco Toymaker Series, by yours truly, both available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. So for a top 5 Juggernaut, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.
Are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
And when the time comes to go down in a river of trouble, love and a mountain ground, just hold